Coming to you from New York, it's Serious Business on Game Riot. Serious Business is a weekly show for competitive gaming with match recaps, recent news, and special features to get you in touch with the pros. This week, we're going to do some catching up at the Championship Gaming Series. Region 1 Season 1 had brought forth some interesting outcomes even when the season hadn't even started out yet. The Playboy Mansion held the first CGS draft, where the bunnies were second rate, as well as some of the choices at the draft. Each pick was for good reason, but Brian DKT Flanders had the best choices overall, being completely PGR focused. As for some of the rest, they stuck with their Counter-Strike 1.6 teams and brought them into the world of Counter-Strike Source. General Manager of the season, Jason Lake, had some extraordinary picks and some extremely poor ones. This half-and-half team just couldn't cut it throughout the season. They had the top Counter-Strike and the finest FIFA players, but when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, Complexity's Dead or Alive 4, Bell and Swoozy just couldn't hack it. Although Complexity had the least amount of points in the league, one of the biggest disappointing teams in the season was Dallas Venom. Alex Jax Conroy was set on his bread and butter in DOA to help get to the playoffs. Not only did Master not perform, he had slim to nil help from his teammates. Cat Hunter had taken an interesting approach in picking up players that had tons of energy and actually picked up a Counter-Strike Source team. But I have to say, the reason for their placing is because, well, Vanessa. Without her amazing ability to dominate all female competition, Optex wouldn't have had the placing that they did. From CS to 1v1s to GM, Chicago Chimera's general manager Brian DKT Flanders has always been a great competitor. He started off by picking up Jason X and Chomper, who are by far easily the best pair for PGR. And with the help of their Counter-Strike Source team, even though they had to deal with the substitution of Garrett Bambaro as well as Shaguar, they were still able to come out on top. In the end, it came down to Carolina Core and Chicago Chimera in the finals. First game, Dead or Alive 4 was a rigorous matchup with Core's Mystic playing as Hayate and Chimera's Kasumi-chan playing as Kasumi. Mystic started off the game using Temple on the Mountain staircases to her advantage by using huge blows and throws to take down Kasumi. Kasumi-chan couldn't handle how overly aggressive Mystic was playing. She won a couple of rounds by avoiding the stairs and had a few successful juggles, but in the end still came up short. Mystic took the set 5-2. PK had the worst season in FIFA and had gone 12-1 thus far and lost 3 times to none to Anomaly. Amazingly enough, PK steals the ball, dribbles it around the competitor, and scores the first goal of the game. Up 1-0, PK begins to play tremendously aggressive and ends up getting set for a corner kick, where he passes in front of the goal to have a perfect header to score a 2-0 victory. Going into the next game with a 7-2 lead allowed Offbeat Ninja to feel incredibly comfortable against Black Mamba. Black Mamba started off and continued with huge combo sets and counters, but in the end, Offbeat Ninja used the environment and his powerful high kicks to take another 5-2 victory in DOA against Chicago Chimera. Chicago's Counter-Strike Source team was their last hope to allow them the opportunity to win the Region 1 playoffs, with Sunman and Trip holding down B and Stevenson holding down A on Inferno. Carolina Core was only able to score in 2 rounds against Chicago Chimera in the first half. In the beginning of the second half, Core was playing extremely passive and got rolled over round after round until they had to adjust. Core scored a couple more rounds and then was dominated by the momentum of Chicago Chimera. Chimera's CSS team won their match 13-5. All tied up came down to the fierce combination of the best PGR team in the league, Jason X and Chopper, against Carolina Core's Phantom and Rex. Within the first few moments of the race, Rex decided to get extremely gutsy and take down Chomper, but with the communication of Jason X allowed his teammate to break and allowed Rex to be olayed and wreck into the wall. In the end, Chomper held the place. Chicago Chimera had the best PGR team in the league, and that is what won it for them during the league as well as the playoffs. Chicago Chimera and Carolina Core are going to go on to compete against the world's best. As for the rest of the Counter-Strike Source teams, they have time to reflect and practice at the CBO Professional League that begins next week. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Corey Dunn. The last question I have for you is PGR where it's at when it comes to the CGS? Hey, I go blog about it.